Mike Radich here, and I'm now joined on the phone by Bellator Heavyweight Eric Prindle. Eric, how are you?
I'm doing good. How's everybody going?
Doing good. Eric, let's start by talking about your diet. You're on the Patino diet now. How long have you been on this diet?
I've been on it since probably 2 fights now, and definitely you can tell my physical ability and my, muscularity is definitely better since I've been on this diet, and I actually feel healthier and better all around being on the Patino diet. So I really appreciate Dr. Patino for making the diet. Basically, it's a low glycemic approach to eating food, and it makes you feel, once you get used to it, it makes you feel like you have more energy, and it's pretty remarkable that your body can do that once it's gets calibrated to eating the right food that your body's actually built to burn. So it feels good.
Mm-hmm. Now, why did you decide to change up your diet, and specifically, why did you decide to settle on the Patino diet?
One reason is I walk around 300 pounds or over 300 pounds, depending on how much I'm eating and stuff. I was eating probably a pretty high sugar diet for an athlete, and I fought Josh Burns, and actually Josh Burns was one of the patients of Patino, Dr. Patino, and him and I were really good friends when we fought. After we fought, I went out and trained with him and helped him get ready for his fight, and I met Dr. Patino, and he just told me the diet that he put on his athletes, and it's ever since I just knew I wasn't doing everything I could to be the best I could. So, and a big part of life and how you feel is what you put in your body. So yeah, I honestly believe it, and it works for me. So I think if you do the Patino diet and you stick to it, it'll definitely help you no matter what.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are some other diets that you've been on in the past, or is this kind of your first experience with a diet that's, kind of, by the book, I guess you could say? Has it been your first experience, or have you tried other diets similar to this in the past?
I've tried the paleolithic diet, but for me, that was, I didn't have any energy, and I felt like I was losing too much muscle, especially for being a pro athlete, and what I do and what all the pro athletes do. You need all the muscle you can get. So with the Patino diet, it allowed me to keep all the muscle, plus build muscle while I was burning fat, and that's your optimum, what you want to do, as an athlete or as a bodybuilder, or pretty much anybody wants to burn their fat and build muscles. So if you can do that, that's pretty awesome. And all that is he has so much knowledge on how the body works and how your body breaks down sugar and stuff. He knows basically it's kind of modified for me because I'm a bigger guy, so I need to eat more and I get a little bit more complex carbs. But basically, it allows me to have enough energy, and at the same time, it burns the fat that I do eat as energy, and it's pretty awesome. I'll tell you what, I don't really call it a diet. I call it a lifestyle, because as anybody that knows that does dieting, they usually drop weight, but they usually put 10 to 15 pounds more on after they get off the diet. I'm just doing this as a lifestyle change, and just even if I go out to eat or go to McDonald's or whatever, I'm always trying to get the best meal I can for what I'm for my lifestyle.
Could you give us some examples of like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you might have on the Patino diet?
Yeah, basically it's like I said, it's a low glycemic approach to eating. Basically, a lot of protein. Like I would have probably 5 eggs and 5 egg whites mixed up, like scrambled with some cheese. You're allowed to have some good cheese, like some aged cheddar or something like that. And then, for me, it's a little modified, so I can body what I'm doing. You know, I actually eat fruit. Some of the fruit is not the best stuff because it's high glycemic, but I eat the fruit. Just basically, you want to have a well-rounded breakfast. That way, you know, it's the most important meal of the day, the breakfast, because you've been fasting for 8 hours or whatever long you've been asleep. So it's a pretty important meal for your body. So I try to eat a lot of protein, and I would say for like lunch, I would have a steak or chicken breast with a bunch of broccoli and maybe a salad, stuff like that. But see, the deal is you're allowed to eat some carbs, but it's complex carbs. It's not flash, you know, like white bread, stuff like that. That kind of stuff just flashes in your body. You eat it, it burns up so fast. Yeah, you get energy, but the energy, it's not sustained. So you basically, you know, it's a waste because that energy that you did burn, it's stopping you from burning the fat that you can burn, use for energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Now, some of the guys who are on Mike Dolce's diet, the Dolce diet, they actually work, you know, hand in hand with Mike Dolce. Now, do you work hand in hand with Dr. Patino, or do you just follow the book? You know, how does that all work?
I first, basically, Dr. Patino, him and I, we worked together, and, sorry, I was getting a call, worked together, and basically, I know what to eat now, what to look for when I'm eating, a lot of green vegetables, stuff like that. Now, I read his book, and I'm still actually reading it now, just to get, you know, more vast knowledge of how actually the body breaks down carbs and protein and fats. Just basically, just trying to keep learning as a you know, a human, and always try to read as much as I can. But I am reading the book, and if you read Dr. Patino's book, in the beginning, it tells a story about him growing up, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's a pretty horrific story. And but I hope people can go out there and go on Patino.com and order that book and read the story for themselves and read the book, and you know, try the diet and see how they feel. And definitely write me on ericprindle.com or look me up on Twitter and tell me how you guys are doing.
You mentioned earlier that you were walking around before you started this diet at around 300 pounds. What's your body weight? You know, what's your walk around weight right now?
About 285, 290. I didn't have much fat before. I had some. Now I'm trying to basically diet down. Like, if you look at a lot of athletes, the smaller athletes, you know, they're pretty ripped. They walk around with low body fat, and some of the larger athletes, I don't know why, maybe body type, they're more endomorphs or what, but I'm trying to walk around with the same body fat as the smaller athletes. You know, I have a six-pack and that kind of stuff. That way I feel better about myself. I don't have to cut as much weight when I do cut. You know, losing 30-something pounds the night before the fight or the day before the fight, it definitely affects you. And I definitely felt it those fights. And now that I'm doing the diet, and my last two cuts been, I wouldn't say easy by any means, but way better than before. So it's been a lot better. When I was fighting Thiago Santos, we both cut the same amount of weight, our first fight and our second fight that we were supposed to have. And, you know, some people get in there and get the job done and cut the weight, and some people just hate it so much that, you know, they can't get in there and stay in the sauna and cut the weight. And that's why basically I wanted to do everything I can to be the best athlete possible. And that's part of being an athlete, is having the discipline to eat good. All and not perform up to your ability that you do in sparring or whatnot.
Is this 285, 290 pound range, is that a good natural walk-around weight for you, or are you trying to get it even lower?
Basically, right now, I'm just trying to keep dropping body fat and keep, I'm lifting now a little different. I'm not lifting as much heavy weights. I don't want to keep putting on a lot of muscle and, having to cut more weight. So basically, I'm doing more explosion moves, a little bit more endurance and stuff like that. As far as lifting weights, just I was training with Alistair Overeem. He kind of ran me through a circuit, and every movement is almost mimicking like someone taking a shot on you. So you do the same thing. You drop your hands, you lift your body, your whole legs up, and you bring the person that's shooting on you, and you try to bring them up so they can't grab your legs. So basically, I do a lot of this stuff that Alistair showed me, and a bunch of other people, Eric Paulson. I'm just trying to basically be the most knowledgeable fighter as I can be and learn, because I know one day, I want to be able to be a coach, and I want to have enough knowledge out there to make a world champion or help other fighters that want to be a world champion go out there and compete. I think as a coach and as a fighter, when you coach, other people say, someone just starting, when you teach someone, like say an arm bar or a right cross or whatever, you actually learn it better yourself when you're teaching it. So I've been trying to teach some jiu-jitsu classes, obviously some stand-up classes, and I've been enjoying it a lot, and I've made actually a lot of improvements in my jiu-jitsu just from teaching those classes. Like, I noticed when I fought Abe Wagner, when I did I think it was a Kimura, I had his arm, and if I would have dropped his elbow down to his hip and then pulled up on his elbow, I probably would have tapped him from it, but I left his elbow up near his shoulder, and he was able to spin and get out of it. Just simple things like that, learning little finite details that make you a better ground game practitioner, and that's basically what I'm trying to do, is just get better in every aspect of MMA.
Now, you mentioned some of the places where you've gone to gain this knowledge, but I know you train at a lot of different gyms and you've been to a lot of different places. Currently, who are you working with and where are you working at?
Right now, my main gym is Eric Paulson's gym, CSW, Combat Submission Wrestling. He's kind of like my mentor kind of deal. I love him. He's a great guy. He's one of the best coaches that I've ever known. I've known a lot of coaches. He's pretty awesome. What else? I'm training with, right now, training with Shannon Rich at the UFC gym on, Green Lanes, 35th, I think it is, anyways. Training with Busted Knuckle. Wayne's been holding mids for me, and he's one of the best mid holders that for me, personally, he's one of the best mid holders. He actually gets me moving like a, little 135 pounder. And if I could do that in a fight, if I can have the endurance and the speed as a 135 pounder and hit like a heavyweight, I'll definitely be winning fights. So that's my goal right now. Josh, I've been working with Josh Burns. He's in Detroit right now. Just a bunch of guys. I couldn't name them all. The lab, I've been working at the lab. A lot of heavyweights there that are real good. There's a wrestler there. He's going to be fighting this Saturday, I believe, in Phoenix, Arizona at the Ridge in the Cage. And he's a phenomenal wrestler. He's going to be another, what's his name? The champion now. I'm trying to remember his name. He's a little wrestler. He's small.
Champion.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, Cain Velasquez, yeah.
Yeah, he's a real good wrestler, real good guy. Good head on his shoulders. Then there's Gooch. He's a bigger heavyweight. He's a good stand-up. He's good all around. I've been training with him, and just, we've been going back and forth, sparring a lot. I drive down from Fresno wanted to train with them. And it's definitely, you know, when you sacrifice a lot for your jobs, so to speak, or your love, whatever it is, I think all that sacrifice gives, you get back knowledge and experience and cardio and all that. So I've definitely been sacrificing, and I just want to keep doing this as long as I can, and as long as the fans want to see me fight.
Mm-hmm. Now, just to go back a little bit to the Patino diet, you being on this diet, is this something where you potentially see this, you know, prolonging your career, you know, maybe extending it a little bit longer for you? I mean, you're only 36, you're not old, you still got a lot of fights in you, but you being on this diet, is this something that you see as something that can prolong your career?
Usually I can get some stuff on the internet saying I'm old and I should get out of the game, I'm all washed up and stuff. I think that's actually fuel for me. When I see that stuff, I just go to the gym and try to push that much harder. If you look at like Randy Couture, you know, he's a phenomenon, but he's how old was he when he had his last fight? He looked phenomenal.
He was 48.
You know, yeah. So, you know, I want to do this as long as the fans want to see me. But as far as the Patino diet, I believe in my heart 100%. Yes, it will help prolong my career because I'm going to be in better shape. So I can do this a lot longer, take less. You know, when you're in really good shape, the damage you do take doesn't affect you as much. But when you're in worse shape where your cardio is not up to par, that's when you end up usually getting caught or getting injured. So I think it definitely will help me 100%. And I just can't thank Dr. Patino enough for making this diet. Even though he basically made it because he went to this water park and he's seen so many obese kids, and he thought how he can, you know, basically give kids enough energy in order to play sports and all that, and how to burn body fat and make your own body as a machine. Basically, if you give it the right fuel, it'll burn like it has a supercharger on it. And basically, that's what the Patino diet does. That's why I love it so much. And I'll tell you what, in about 2 weeks, I noticed a huge difference. I have a picture I put on Facebook. It was when I was getting ready to fight. Trying to remember, his name is Brent Rogers. I had a six-pack, I was all cut up, I was weighing about 289, and I was ready to go, and then I got injured and had to have surgery, but, you know, everything happens for a reason, but I was in the best shape of my life at 35 years old, and I was ripped, I was cut, I was doing 5-minute rounds with 5 rounds straight with no break in between, and just each my sparring partners would come in one after another, and they would have the rest, and I was able to go all that time with no break, and that's pretty awesome being, you know, a 290-pound guy. That's pretty good cardio. So hopefully I can get to that shape and have a fight, and that'd be awesome.
Yeah, my next question was going to be about that Brett Rogers fight you had to pull out due to an injury. You mentioned that it required surgery. What exactly was the injury, and how's it feeling right now?
Okay, basically I'll tell you what happened real quick. It was the last day of sparring for Brett Rogers. I was sparring, like I said, I was doing, what we do normally is 5-minute rounds, either 5 straight rounds or 6 straight rounds, and I would just have enough time in between rounds to get water, and that was it. And then the other guy would come in and we would start right away. So I didn't get the minute break, which, you know, is phenomenal. When you get in that fight, you get that minute break, you have full recovery, you feel so good, and that's why I was doing that. But basically, I was training, I was the last round, the last session of sparring, I was pretty exhausted. I threw a leg kick, actually really hard, and I was trying to pick it up for the last round. And the guy that I was sparring, perfected perfect. I landed on his knee, and the gear that I had, the round before, the bottom Velcro ripped. So when I threw this fast leg kick, the shin pad flipped to the side, and I landed straight my bone and bone contact to him. What ended up happening was I damaged the muscle so much, it swelled up so bad that it started tearing the fascia, and which lines your muscle. And basically I tried to ice it, tried to suck it up, went to the doctors pretty much right away, and he said, we'll see if we can, get you through to the fight. Basically, the next day it was huge. The doctor was like, I'm going to have to pull you out. There's no way you can fight. So the doctor let the commission know, and the fight was scrapped. And then the next day after that, I was having surgery because it swelled up so much. There's your, I'm going to mess it up, but it's your parietal nerve that goes to the front of your shin, and it connects to your toe, and it allows you to bring your toe up and down. Well, that nerve is kind of damaged now. So basically, it was a pretty bad injury. Like if it gets damaged fully, that nerve, basically your career could be over.
You were supposed to have a fight before that one. It was supposed to be in January for King of the Cage. You were supposed to fight Cody East. Just curious, why didn't that fight happen? Was there another injury involved? Why didn't that fight take place?
Yeah, basically, I'm signed with Bellator. I got to respect their contract and their opinion about, if I'm allowed to fight or not. They said I wasn't allowed to fight. I believe they didn't give me any reason, but I believe it was because it was on a different network. So, they're a huge promotion. I'm signed with them. Basically, they own me until they don't want to use me anymore or whatnot. Hopefully, I love fighting for Bellator, and I want to fight for them as long as they'll have me, as long as the fans want to see me fight. So I just can't wait to either get in the tournament. I just can't wait to fight for Bellator again and have that, the excitement of getting into the cage in a Bellator fight. It's the best feeling ever.
Eric, I'm just curious, why aren't you going to be in the upcoming 4-man Summer Series heavyweight tournament for Bellator? Is it something where you're not cleared medically to fight? Is it something where Bellator just didn't decide to put you in it? Why exactly aren't you in that tournament?
I'm not sure. What I think is they said that I had to have surgery. It was a longer recovery than I hoped to be. As soon as I let Bellator know that I was ready to fight and I started training, that's when they basically posted that the tournament, it was going to be a 4-man tournament. So, it was just a timing issue with my injury, I believe.
Oh,
but they're all phenomenal guys in that tournament. I'd be honored to fight any of them.
Eric, your last fight against Thiago Santos, that was a bizarre one. It was a DQ, but I don't really think the punishment fit the crime. It should have been a no contest, an eye for an eye. He did something similar to you. It was a no contest. I thought that fight should have been a no contest. The fight previously, before that, against Cole Conrad, I'm definitely sure that wasn't the result you were hoping for. I believe going into that Cole Conrad fight, you had an ankle injury or something like that, so that it hurt your performance in that as well. When you finally do step back into a cage, whether it's for Bellator or outside the Bellator cage, if they give you clearance to fight, do you feel that you have something to prove to the people out there who, doubt your age and all this stuff and, have kind of been down on you for these last couple of performances? Do you feel that there is something that you need to prove when you get back to fighting?
Well, for sure. I want to say something about that Cole Conrad fight. I was injured pretty badly in that fight. I had a broken ankle, but honestly, my mind, something was wrong. Something wasn't. I wasn't in it fully. I don't know. I can't explain it. It wasn't the level of the opposition or any of that. It was something with me. Actually, a friend of mine
Sure.
Conrad beat me fair and square, but I guarantee if we fought again, it would not happen that easy or like that. When I roll, if you look at that fight with me and Thiago Santos, he tried to do the same thing, and I got out of it easy. It's not. For one, Cole Conrad is, in my opinion, a step above Thiago. No offense to him, but he's a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal fighter. And he's probably had a million wrestling matches. And I think the wrestling definitely helps out jiu-jitsu or fighting. But my mind wasn't in it, so I did myself a disservice, fighting like that. But basically, I'm gonna go in my next fight with the knowledge, knowing that I have to do the best I can, no matter what, no matter if I have an injury, no matter if in my last, I want to say probably 4 fights, I've had broken bones or something injured. So I think that comes with fighting and being a heavyweight. I think everybody gets injured when they train as hard as we do. I just had some pretty bad luck. But when I fought Ron Sparks, I had a fractured left ankle. The outside bone, leg, fib, tib, or something like that. I'm not sure, but that was fractured, and it actually hurt pretty bad. I had a whole roll of tape on it, and I was definitely mentally prepared for that fight. So, like I said, I'm not making excuses. I just wasn't there. He beat me fair and square, and I definitely have something to prove. Losing a couple fights in a row, no matter if it was a fight that, in my opinion, too, he did this soccer kick to my groin, and it was called a no contest. I did an axe kick, which is harder to aim and definitely a lot more room for error. And I got I lost, basically got disqualified. But I'm not a referee. I didn't see what he seen. I didn't hear him after watching the fight. I guess, he did say don't kick him to the groin, don't kick him to the groin a couple times. I didn't hear that when I was in the fight. I was just looking for my opening. I was standing a little bit further away than I should have because I was worried about him kicking my knee, on the up kick to the knee.
Right.
So I was a little further back. I should have stepped in maybe a foot more. If I would have thrown that axe kick a foot more in, I would have landed exactly where I wanted in the fight. It probably would have been a short fight. Landing that hard of a kick on the solar plex, it definitely would have hurt, But it was a mistake I made, and I'm paying the price for it. And I'm definitely, every day in training, no matter what it is, if it's strength training or cardio or what, I'm trying to do the best I can, and just, keep staying motivated and get ready to fight whatever is coming up. I'm hoping it's Bellator, but if Bellator allows me to fight in a different promotion, and we're fighters, that's how we make our money. So I'm hoping no matter what it is, I fight and fight good, and the fans like it.
Who are some of the fighters that are on your radar right now? Is it possibly Brett Rogers? You guys were supposed to fight. You had the injury, had to pull out. Is it him? Is that a guy that you'd like to fight? Is it someone else in Bellator? Is it someone outside of Bellator? There's a lot of good heavyweights. The Andrei Arlovskis, Tim Sylvias, Jeff Munson, a bunch of guys who are outside of Bellator who are still really good heavyweights. Is it one of those guys? Who's on your radar right now?
All those guys, I'd be honored to fight them. Basically, I would fight. For me, it's not out about anger or any of that. I want to fight the best guys, the best stand-up guys, or the best guys that's going to bring the crowd together and want to watch us fight. So as far as specific names, I don't really have any. I was supposed to. There was a fight that was supposed to happen in Russia. It was against me and Arlovsky, and for whatever happened, I don't know if it was a promotion or Russia against Orlovsky.
Is that the fight that Arlovsky had against Mike Hayes that was supposed to be you in there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
What happened in that fight, if you don't mind me asking?
Arlovsky won by decision. A lot of people thought, Hayes, he could have pulled it out had he done a little bit more, but Arlovsky took a decision.
Okay, was it an exciting fight?
No, I would say it was kind of slow-paced. I thought there was going to be a lot more striking, but, not what I expected, but it was still, I'd say it was a good contest. Nothing to be ashamed of on either side. I think it was good. Yeah.
Actually, through my speculation, I think they wanted a different fighter, maybe someone not as big or as strong. Due to, I think, the last couple of fights that Orlovsky had, like Brent Rogers.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
But, but I can't, I can't speak on their behalf. So,
right.
But I know I wanted to fight him, and I was definitely hyped up about fighting a UFC champion and such a great athlete as Orlovsky.
Right.
It would have been definitely my pleasure fighting him. Fighting in Russia, it's a different experience. I've done it once in the Army, and it was pretty awesome.
And Andrei Arlovsky's with World Series of Fighting, so I'm sure they probably said, hey, we want you to take a fight that's also in our best interest. So maybe, I don't know if World Series of Fighting had anything to do with it, but he's with them, so maybe that, I don't know. I don't have any inside info, but maybe that's something, they said something, yeah.
I think with any heavyweight that's, a big heavyweight that can punch, that's been doing it as long as I have, if you make a mistake, like look at me and Ron Sparks, he's a definitely good stand-up guy. He's had a lot of knockouts. I've had a lot of knockouts in boxing. I'm learning the MMA game. It just takes one mistake. You put your hand down on the wrong point. It's not even a really hard punch. It's just a fast explosion and snaps the head. It puts the body to sleep, and who knows? Next time me and Ron Sparks fight, maybe I drop my hand and get caught. You never know with big heavyweights that can punch and hit hard enough in any position, when you're going back or whatever, that the fight can end pretty quick. So I think that's why people are drawn to heavyweights, that the fight can end in such a dramatic style and pretty much a fast. I think some heavyweight fights are slow, but when it ends fast.
Now, how many fights left do you have with Bellator? Or does it work differently because of the tournament format? Could you explain how the contract works?
I think they added a fight because of the groin kick, and then when I had that injury, they added time. I'm not really worried about the contract as far as how many fights or whatever. I'm just glad to be a part of Bellator, and I want to be a part of it as long as they'll allow me to keep fighting for them. So I'm just happy to be fighting in a huge promotion like Bellator, and it's good for my family, and it's good for the fans that want to see me fight on Spike TV and have good quality fights.
Now, if you had to put money on it right now, would you say that your next fight was going to be in Bellator or outside of Bellator? If you had to say right now.
I really don't know. I want to be able to fight in probably 2 months, so we'll see if Bellator, has something ready, or if another promotion does, and Bellator will allow me to do it. And that's the main thing is Mr. Bjorn and Mr. Kaplan happy, and would it allow me to fight outside of it? And if that happens, then I'll be fighting outside of Bellator. So I don't want to speculate on any of that right now. My job right now is just to hit the gym as hard as I can, keep doing strength training, and get my cardio in, and learn as much as I can, and wait for my lawyer to figure all that other stuff out.
Now, will this 4-man tournament, will you try to fight before that or after that? Or are you going to kind of wait and see what happens in that tournament? Because, God forbid if anyone gets injured, they might need a replacement. Are you going to kind of wait and see what happens there before you decide to go somewhere or accept another fight?
I did ask, due to the last heavyweight tournament, I think Mike Hayes got injured, and they put in someone else. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was the South African. He's actually a really cool guy. I'm trying to remember his name.
Neil Grove?
Yeah, Neil Grove. He's really cool.
Yeah.
But they put him back in, and I think with big guys that punch so hard and kick so hard and can get injured so easy, who knows what could happen. I hope they all don't get injured or anything, especially in training.
Yeah.
But you never know, and I actually asked Bellator if I could be an alternate, and I didn't hear back from them yet, but I'm hoping if it comes down to it and it's meant to be, then maybe they'll allow me to fight as an alternate.
Definitely. Well, Eric, thank you for being so liberal with your time. I know it's been a very long interview, but real quick before I let you go, do you have any sponsors you would like to thank, and is there anything you'd like to say to the fans?
Yeah, I do want to say a couple of things real quick. One, everybody out there that has PTSD, either if it's from being in combat or, your dad beating you when you were a kid or just whatever it's from, if you can get out there and go to a boxing gym or MMA gym and actually start learning and trying that sport, it definitely changed my life. It's definitely helped it out. I can tell, even like when I was injured and I wasn't training, I felt myself having more of an attitude or just being short with people. And it seems like when I'm training and I'm like in camp or whatever, I'm the nicest person to be around. And I think that's from all the training you allow to get your aggravations out. And I just hope if I could help one person out there just getting in a better lifestyle of MMA or just training. Even they don't have to fight, just train. I think it will definitely help you out. You don't have to take all the medication that some other doctors prescribe to you. And I think after a while, if you keep doing that, it will help you out, and you won't need that medication. But I just wanted to say that because hopefully, it will get to one person, and they'll try it, and it will help them. But I want to say thank you to all my sponsors. Definitely the Patino diet for them helping me out and basically, getting me in the best shape of my life. Dr. Patino, Josh Burns, and everybody else. I wanted to say thank you for my wife and kids allowing me to, follow my dreams, so to speak. And, my wife's definitely a strong woman. She handles all the kids when I go out and train with, like, Alistair Overeem, or when I went to Brock Lesnar's camp for 3 months or whatever it was. She had 3 kids on her own, and I don't know if I could do that. So she's definitely a strong woman. I wanted to say thank you to her, and thanks to everybody that's been helping me out and training with me. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to the fans for supporting me. And look me up on Twitter or ericprindle.com or Facebook.
Eric, thank you for taking the time to talk. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank